headset.
More than just a school, My Computer Career helps you get into the
You'll hear the
industry
show in your
by
headset.
working with hundreds of employers that hire our students.
Okay, we are live, guys.
Is nationally accredited, and financial aid is available
Randy,
for
you
those
need
who
to
qualify,
do. You need to
including the
do.
GI Bill.
If you pulled every show and did snippet of every show. Okay, we're live. Okay, we're live. Okay, we're live. Okay, we're live. So, okay, we're live. Look at you. That's you.
That me?
That is you.
Damn.
Oh, man. My man, 100 grand.
That's it?
100 grand.
That's all?
That's all you got.
You're wearing a diamond-encrusted Breitling, and the best you're going to do for me is 100 grand?
Because I've got the other 200. This is what you get when you get arrested 27 times.
Just saying, I knew you before.
I know.
You will.
I know it. I was good then. Barely.
I'm drinking. I have no comment.
Okay, guys, we are back in studio. I see y'all cranking up there. Michael Moulton, Into the Rock Radio. I'm back in town, baby. We got Amara Durham in studio. Man, this is going to be a good show. This is going to be a good show. We're going to let her just get after it. We got huge announcements. I can't find myself here.
Can I help find you?
Yes. There I am.
You got it?
There I am. Here we go. Okay. So we're about to get down, clown. Y'all get this shared out. Randy, welcome to the show. Randy, thank you for sharing that out, by the way. Great job. Cindy, thank you so much for sharing this out right now. Oh, is that a Chris? Chris, by the way. Chris, thank you so much for sharing this video out right now. Unbelievable how you guys are sharing this out. I just think this is incredible. You like that?
Yeah.
So good. Look at all these people getting on here. Alma Kate, Jamie, Casey. What's up, Tank? What's up, Michelle? From Florida. Autumn, how are you doing? Casey, what's going on? Welcome back. I'm back in studio. We're about to go get this. We're about to hard hit. Hard spit. I gotta do my Cynthia Smoot. She did that today. All right, I see them hearts. Smash them hearts. Oh, we're in delay. Okay. Y'all get ready. I appreciate y'all sharing this out. Casey, thank you so much for being here and sharing this out. Tina Marlin Bailey, good to see you. Thank you for sharing this out to your group, Tina. I appreciate it. Peter, thank you so much for joining, sharing this out. Alma, we love you. Thank you. It's good to be home. What's up, Sally? Daniel Bueno, DB. Thank you for sharing it out, Daniel. All right. Okay, let's see here. There is Julie. Julie, thank you so much for joining. Oh, that's our Julie. Cynthia Smoot. About time she watched the show. We need to have Cynthia Smoot back on the show. I need everybody to hashtag Smoot Dog. Amara Durham. I cannot believe Amara Durham is on our show today. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. How did we get this deal? What was about $8 million to get you on? Is that your appearance
I was
fee?
on sale.
$8 million to get you to come on.
Worth every penny, right?
So good. So good. Watch party. Bam. There we go. Okay. Here we go. We're about to go live. I think Miles passed out and fell asleep. Is he asleep back there? Look, it looks like he's asleep, isn't it? I wanted to let you know I start outpatient treatment this week. Jamie, great job. I'm proud of you. Good stuff. Jonathan, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Jonathan, I'm going to call you. What a great testimony of what you're doing. That is awesome. Man, we're cranking up. We're up to 27, almost 30 viewers. Let's get this thing shared out. Appreciate you. Andrew Hager is in the house. My man, 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand. Andrew Hager, what's up with it? Love this dude. I love me some Andrew Hager. Andrew, make a comment there. Hashtag 1001. That's an inside joke. One day we'll share that when he comes to town. 1001. That's right. Chicago Hope Dealer supports M2 The Rock. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Chicago Hope Dealers. If you haven't, you got to check out Chicago Hope Dealers, one of the largest support groups on social media on Facebook. It's a closed group. But
this is Talk Radio 1190, Dallas-Fort Worth's place to talk.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station or iHeartMedia.
3 words.
letters, one meaning. Let's go.
Came a long way sitting in a prison, thinking it was the only place that ever fitted. Now Michael Morton with us, and you know we got the vision. This is not a competition, man, it's all about the mission. This is M to the rock, you don't stop. The show start on the week, they right at 7 o'clock. Mad Miles in the booth, we got Johnny on sound. Coach Julie, the boss lady, let him know what's going down.
This is M to the rock that don't stop. The show start on the week, they right at 7 o'clock. Got the paparazzo, call him Danny Cambo. With the picks, you can't pick every one of them is gold. And that one young lady that wants you to be free. Everybody say it with me, love you, Mama P.
Gather round. You know what to do. Gather round, clowns. Michael Bolton, Into the Rock Radio, coming to you. I'm back live. I'm back in studio. Back where it all started from Dallas, Texas, baby. D-Town, the 214. That's right, the Big D. Guess what we talk about on this show? We talk about that drug addiction. We talk about that slippery snake, alcoholism. But we also talk about, so we can be really diversified, we talk about hurts, habits, hang-ups, things that make our life completely unmanageable. That's what we talk about. This show is a safe place. This is a place where you can come. You can participate on Facebook Live. You can listen on iHeartRadio, 1190 Talk Radio, Dallas, Texas. Make sure you download the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to the show. It's a safe place because this is what we do. We provide solutions. We provide spiritual solutions for human problems. We provide solutions to the things that baffle us. We provide solutions to the things that I was incarcerated over. We provide solutions to insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over to where I got so sick, I was doing the same thing over and over, knowing what the result was going to be. We provide solutions, and if I don't have them, we bring them here. This show is brought to you by DFW Coin and Jewelry. That's DFW Coin and Jewelry, Kristen Oyster, and Fashion Stars for a Cause, Yvonne Crum, Terry Bentley Hill. It's coming. We got Fashion Stars booked up for January, February. They're going to be in studio. Julie is putting that all together. Danny Campbell, the official paparazzo of M2 The Rock Radio. Talked to him this morning. And the producer of the show, my man, Miles. What's up with it? How about them Cowboys?
Well, that's just it. You have a major habit that's causing you a lot of hurt.
What?
It's your main hang-up.
What's my main hang-up?
On the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I know, but dude, he gives me the freak. He freaks me out.
No matter that he had statistically a Drew Brees type afternoon with the percentage rate.
The numbers were there, but let me tell you something.
Okay, he missed a few.
Everything has to be...
bad interception,
yes. It has to be perfect.
Okay, forgot about the fumble, yeah.
Everything has to be perfect for him. But I'm going to give him this. You ready? The guy's got a heart. The guy does not give up. Okay? He does not. He keeps plugging. Well,
he has a cornerback mentality.
Ooh, I
you
like that,
You know what a cornerback
Miles.
mentality is?
You just
Short-term memory.
Short-term memory.
You get burned on a play?
Mm-hmm.
Got to forget about it. You take it. You get a pick six. That's great. Got to forget about it.
Yep.
Go on to the next play.
Miles, it's good to be back, my friend.
So how was your Miami trip?
It was good.
And Kentucky.
It was good. I mean, so I flew down so quick. So I go down there. I fly down there. Recovery Unplugged. Special shout out to Recovery Unplugged. Big news coming up. We're working on some really big stuff. So we are holding on to this. We got some good stuff to talk about. Recovery Unplugged, I want to thank them for the incredible hospitality. Met with Richie Zupa, met with Naomi, who is the personal assistant of Steven Tyler, Richie Zupa, for 35 years. Paul, and everybody there, Dr. Barry, Blake, everybody there, Jam Alker. We had a room full, and even iHeart Florida was there, Miles.
Huh.
And we had an incredible...
I tuned in a couple nights, or the Friday Unplugged. I don't know if that was live or
when Jam was playing.
Yeah. I don't know if that was that night or if that was done previously and they were just playing it.
No, that was me. Videoing it, and it's neat because they use music as the therapy. That's the hook, and so they use music as part of recovery, and so more to come.
I guess it would have helped if I would have looked on the upper right-hand corner. It would have said live.
It would have said live. It would have said live. And so...
But then again, you say live and in living color, right, every night. But then when we replay this, what's it saying?
Yeah.
It's you saying live. So people don't know if it's live or is it Memorex.
That's right. So real quick, I want to give a shout out. I want to set the week up, getting back, because we got to get to our special in-studio guest, Amara Durham. She is here. Oh, man, I can't wait for this. Incredible Amara Durham. So AD. She's in the house. So Recovery Unplugged, Fort Lauderdale, Austin. Andrew Hager live. I was with Andrew, your man. We had so much fun in Kentucky. Oh, my God, that dude is so funny. He is so funny. And what a great dude.
Is it in the basement?
In the basement.
Okay.
One of the most followed video podcasts in the country. It's unbelievable. They have their own studio in the basement. Andrew Hager of Andrew Hager Live, and Dallin Wright, his who is a local sheriff there, actually gave me a really cool gift from the Boone County Sheriff's Office. I love that Boone County Sheriff's Office. Gave me a nice gift, and so I just had a great time. And I spoke to two treatment centers. I spoke to a Recovery Works treatment center. I believe it was like 180 people I spoke to, sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And then spoke to an all-women's treatment center, and that was interesting. I have never spoken to an all-women group, and that was kind of cool because I invited.
How different was it?
Well, it was.
In what way?
Reason why what I learned from it is it was really cool because the women were so engaged to my story, and it reminds me that women they're starving for a spiritual leader of the household. I shared this with, in fact, Cynthia Smoot and I were at Brian Glenn's studio. We were talking about that. Women are starving for a spiritual leader of the household through the man, and so I was giving them hope. I was talking my story and saying, listen, this is a way a man carries himself, and it's by action. And I never thought that I'd be that guy, you know what I mean? Because I was the most selfish, self-centered sucker in the world, but it was cool. I shared my story. And yes, I see that, Jill Young. Thank you. The Ladies of the Nile. It was the Nile. Great faith-based Christian recovery center in Kentucky. Real quick, we are going to have Terry Bentley Hill, our girl Terry Bentley Hill, in studio tomorrow night, the official criminal defense attorney for M2 The Rock Radio. She'll be in studio tonight. Special shout out to Judge Jennifer Bennett. I just left her court. They let me leave again, which is always good when I can go to court and leave. And I always go there to see drug court and say hi to everybody. But Terry Bentley Hill, Wednesday night, we will have an encore presentation because we got Texas Tech basketball we'll be playing. And then here we go, guys. Y'all ready? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Joe Nestor, B. Rain, and Rim One will be in studio. We have a huge announcement. M2 The Rock, we are Cloud Gang, B. Rain, Joe Nestor, and Rim One will be in studio. Do not miss tonight. Don't miss tomorrow, and the rest of the week is going to be incredible. And without further ado, I got through all that, Miles. Miles, this is going to be you're going to love this guest today, okay? Amara Durham, a friend of mine we met a long time ago, was reintroduced to me, brought back into my life by Cynthia Smoot, who is our PR manager, director, handles all of our PR for M2 The Rock Radio. And she said, this is a lady that you need to reconnect. And first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, thanks for your patience. I had to get through that stuff. But
important stuff.
We met, it had to have been 12, 13, 14 years ago when our kids were playing soccer together. And obviously my life has taken a big turn for the better now. It went a different way. And I never realized what you did for a living. We never got there. And let's introduce you now. We're going to start out by getting to know you. Who are you and what you do? And we'll finish this segment out. We'll probably hear a little music there, and I may jump in there and steer you out. But we want to really get to know you. Who is Amara Durham?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's
Yes.
a true honor. Amara Durham is someone who's absolutely committed to families who are struggling with drug, alcohol addiction, mental health problems, or behavioral health problems.
Right.
In the substance abuse world, sometimes that's all lumped together. No one wakes up and says, hey, I'm going to be an addict. I'm going to drink myself to death. And so understanding that really complicated world, that's my dedication, my passion. It's helping families navigate these resources that are overwhelming in number and minuscule in quality, and letting them know that there is an advocate out there who can walk with them, whether that is through, we don't know what's going on, so let's get a right assessment, to the actual intervention, referral to treatment, and then planning for when the real work begins, and that's post-discharge, when they go out and when you got to figure out how to live life on life's terms.
Right.
And so I walk with families and their loved ones through that entire process.
And how did you choose this profession? I mean, because a lot of people that will get into this field or into the addiction field, it's kind of by default. It's either by a passion, or it's I have a friend or family member that's in addiction, or themselves are in recovery. How did you find this way to work?
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't find it. It found me.
Okay.
It found me. This is not a world in which I ever envisioned a lawyer with an MBA would be. This is just not what someone sets out to do with my background. And yet for 9 months, there was a treatment center, the largest one in the nation at the time that was a nonprofit, danced with me and said, we really want you here. Mm-hmm. We really think that you could make a difference. And I was like, no way. Why in the world would I choose to go into this when addiction was something that was just something I didn't want to be around by choice, since I had fallen into that world by accident. Mm. And so it was really a higher power. And after 9 months of saying no, to finally I said, all right, God, I'll do it. I'll do it. If this is what you want from me, I'll do it. And it has been absolutely a true passion of mine since then.
Michael Moulton, M2 The Rock Radio with Amara Durham. Good stuff. Perfect. We're up and running. Yeah, you want to wear them, and the reason why, because Miles.
He is going to jump in. Okay.
He'll be talking and asking questions.
My ears are sweating.
Well,
You got to tweak that whole
Tomorrow morning, 7 to 11. Talk Radio 1190.
Hello, this is Michael.
Can I say that?
Are you in need of an engagement?
Was I allowed to?
Call my friend Kristen Oyster, owner and president of DFW Coin and Jewelry Center. Do you have jewelry you don't wear anymore? Rare coins, spiritual watches, old paper money, gold, silver. Call Kristen Oyster. Yeah, correct me. I don't care. It's America's top buyer and seller of rare coins. They're located
You're going to get a bunch of thumbs down on that one.
Spring Valley Road. Teddy Melton in the house. What's up, Teddy? Tommy, how you doing? Casey, good to see you. Jill Young, Liz Stivers, welcome to the show. John Anderson.
Welcome, AD. That's so nice, Casey.
Look at that. Let's everybody, hey, let's show our guest. Let's show our guest how much we love her. Hashtag AD. Let's do hashtag AD. Come on, let's show her. Hashtag AD. Everybody say hello.
Trending, huh?
There we go.
It'll be the trendiest I've ever been in my life.
I want that flannel, M2. John, I might give you this flannel. I tell you what, I feel like I'm at a fish fry right now. There we go. Cynthia Smoot, AD. Hashtag AD. Cynthia Smoot's rocking the hot profile picture.
She knows where the good information is.
And more heart.
What am I doing here? I'm like wrestling a jellyfish.
Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't
I can hold it way
just
back there so you
anybody.
can read it.
That's right.
Blimp
I can't see it. All right.
Goodyear.
Good stuff. Here we go. Look at all those hashtag ADs. Teddy Melton. Hey, Teddy, look at this.
Gifts and packages shipped with care.
This is a gift that Teddy Melton gave me. The challenge.
Now at Staples, you get
Challenge
15%
The
off
challenge
UPS
coin. There's
shipping
Paula
services
Holman,
and 15%
Mama P
off
in
all
the
shipping
house.
supplies.
Plus, Staples is open
for the
7 days a
lemon
week.
game.
So,
Hero
happy and
Industries.
stress-free
Challenge
shipping
coins.
holiday
K9 Hero. What do you call me, a dog?
There's a whole lot in
K9
store this
Heroes.
Exclusive
Hero
supply. In-store only. See
bears,
associate for
patches,
details.
label.
It's
Oh, they see who makes them.
$12.29.18.
I just thought maybe they were going to give you a handy pair of handcuffs to keep you on since
I know, I'm handcuffed out.
I'm just saying.
I am tired of handcuffs. No more handcuffs. No more. Okay, Liz, how are you doing? John, are you okay? John, you okay? Okay, good. John's okay.
One of your viewers is cranking out her last exam. I'm super excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a big accomplishment.
Good. All right.
expenditures, payroll, bookkeeping, month end.
We are on our commercial break right now. Welcome to the show. If you're just joining us, we have Amara Durham and Amara Durham Consulting. We're just starting out, so you haven't missed anything. We're just teeing the show up, getting the week set up. And once again,
to the Rock Radio fans, Michael now has new hours, Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from noon to 1 p.m. on Talk Radio 1190.
Let's go. We are. I just want to make you smile, change your whole mood, give you information so you don't.
Welcome back. Michael Moulton, into the Rock Radio. We're coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. D-Town, baby, iHeartRadio here in Dallas. And we have got an incredible guest in studio today, Amara Durham, owner, founder of Amara Durham, Durham,
Like bull.
Consulting. Welcome to the show. Before we get into it, did you know that this show is sponsored by DFW Coin and Jewelry?
I did.
Did you know that?
I did, and I think that's amazing.
And Fashion Stars for a Cause.
You know what? They do such amazing things.
Isn't that
for our
amazing?
community.
They raise money for the Suicide Crisis Center of North Texas, and we're so glad to be partnered with. Welcome to the show, Amara.
Thanks.
And,
it's great to be here.
And this is great. We have Amara in studio, and Amari Cooper won the game for us. You like that, Miles? That was just kind of classic. That just kind of fit perfect.
Okay.
That was perfect. Admit that was perfect.
If you say so.
Okay, Amara Durham Consulting. You do some really big things, and you were just sharing that you accidentally got into this field. Is that fair to say?
Well, I would say in the recovery world, we would never say anything happens by accident.
Are you in recovery?
I am an Al-Anon for over 18 years.
Wow, this is even better.
Oh,
So you're an
thank
Al-Anoner.
you,
That's
yes.
great. So you're the codependent side.
Oh, well, if a shoe fits,
You're the
I'm
control
the
freak.
designer one. Well, alcoholics marry great women, is what they say, or
Boy,
great spouses. You read that in the big book, I am
You
sure.
got that right. You got that right. So tell us about what your consulting firm does. What do you do? And if you were to do a commercial right now on what you do, this is the stage.
This is the stage. Well, I tell you what, I'll do a commercial for what we do in my space because unfortunately there's a great need and fortunately there's lots of great resources. And so I dedicate my practice to people who I don't want wasting any more time and treasure in this problem. Let's find the most effective help possible in the least invasive way possible. And so let's not do a Google search on where we're going to get treatment or finding a therapist or a resource to help with whatever the outburst might be. And so I'll direct that family once we understand if an intervention is necessary, once we know what the real problem is, to the appropriate resource. And then by gum, I'm going to hold that resource accountable every single week. I'm going to work with that clinical team and make sure that that client of mine is getting all of the attention they need, covering the issues that they have. And then I'm going to hold the family accountable because it's a family disease.
Come on.
And so the family also needs to be held accountable for the good work that they need to be doing. You get a lot of families like, they're in treatment, I'm done, I get to relax. No, that's when you put your foot on the gas and you got to take care of you and do the work that you need to do because we didn't get here overnight and it wasn't one person.
Okay, so let me stop you on this because this is really good stuff because we talk about that a lot on the show and it's very easy. It's very easy for me to get someone who is a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, to come on and tell their show, to come on and tell their show, tell their story on the show where this is what it was like and this is what it's like today. I can't, he can't, I think I'll let him. Powerful, great stories on how God has transferred their life, all right?
Which is their show.
Which is their show. That's exactly right. What I really like, because the majority of the followers that follow us are the codependent that are trying to figure out how do I help my son, daughter, loved one, or whoever that is actively in this disease, okay? I'm on the phone a lot with people in this, okay? I was on the phone yesterday with a very close friend and his brother who is locked up in a hotel, threatening to kill himself with large amounts of alcohol and drugs, and he's sitting in a hotel room, and I was on the phone with him, okay? Basically doing a phone intervention. And so with that said, what role do you play in that? If they need your service, do you actually come in and do an intervention, or how do you handle this, or do you coach them through it?
Well, I actually just came from an intervention.
Okay.
So a young woman, and when you have adults in your life, you don't have control. You don't have control over anyone. but you certainly don't have control over someone who's over the age 18. So all you can do is influence them. And the goal for me is to invite them to change, to have them say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and have the family stop being addicted to the addict and the entire drama and chaos that ensues and say, okay, I choose to change. I choose to no longer feel this way. And so if it's appropriate, I will go in and have that invitation to change to the entire family system. And I've got to have commitment from everyone. I've got to make sure that mom and dad or husband, wife, or siblings, or in fact, very often the work environment will all agree to change, because it takes everyone to change the dance of addiction, because that's the dynamic of how we got there.
Right.
So if it's appropriate for me to do that intervention, I'll go into that household or that office and execute the intervention. And that basically means, let me invite you to change, and let you make a choice. But you're going to choose between getting healthy or choosing to walk away from whatever was being given to you in the past. And so that means I have to get the entire system on board with whatever the limits and boundaries are going to be. And I work with them to establish that.
What does addicted to the addict look like? What does that mean for the listener?
I think for the listener, I can speak from my personal experience in working with families. And I got to tell you, it's people who cannot set a boundary because they're afraid of what that other individual might do. And they think a boundary means I'm going to try to control you, rather than I'm no longer going to let you control me and how I feel about your addiction. And the addicted to the addict means I think I have to fix this. I have to find the right resource. I have to tell you what to do, when the addict may or may not be interested. And so they don't know how to live not in chaos. It becomes their new norm. And it doesn't have to be their new norm. In fact, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. The family system that surrounds that addict, you're slowly killing your loved one if you don't set limits and boundaries, and you don't do so in a way that's healthy. I'd like to tell people, eradicate the word you. Don't ever start a sentence with you.
Okay.
You, Michael. You, Michael, should. You, Michael, are. You, Michael, aren't. I mean, how defended do you feel? Right? So come with I, and then let's start with how I feel, because you can't tell me my feelings are wrong. And are my feelings rightly or wrongly? So if I come at you who's struggling and say, I feel blank when you blank, I wish, I want, I hope you would blank. Okay, then how can you argue with me?
Right, right. No, I'm
with
you.
As an addict?
Yeah.
All right, so once I tell you that, now I got to set up my limit and boundary. When you blank, it makes me feel blank, and the next time you do it, I'm going to consider all my options, including blank. So then what do I do with families, is your question? I get them to understand this new vernacular, this new way of speaking that's non-judgmental and non-shaming. Because my gosh, that addict, that alcoholic, that person struggling with depression, anxiety, they feel bad enough as it is.
That's exactly right.
And they're already putting their families through just chaos.
And we do that a lot on this show, a lot of I statements. My personal experience, this is what's working for me. And because the word you comes across to me as blaming. Michael, why would you drink and do drugs and risk losing your family and everything? And Amara, I would get so angry and so upset and literally storm off from situations. And the reason why today I know why I did that is because I couldn't answer the question. I didn't know why I was drinking and doing drugs. And it goes the same way for the other side, the codependent. They don't know why they are so addicted to the addict and trying to fix the addict. Okay?
And the question,
does that make sense?
Yeah, the question really isn't why, but it's what.
What? There you go.
And I'll tell you the difference in my mind's eye.
Okay.
Why is, this is a disease, it's progressive, and it hijacks the brain. And no one, you wake up in the morning and go, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to use, I'm not going to hide in my room. And then come however long later.
10:30 in the morning, you're drunk and high.
Exactly.
And you can't say, you don't know why you did it.
Right, because the brain's hijacked, right? So the difference really isn't the why question. The question is what? What were you feeling that made you spiral out and you reached for that bottle and as an involuntary response to mask your pain? What were you doing at the time in which you started to feel completely overwhelmed and crushed by the world? The what question is so far more important once this disease has progressed, whether depression, anxiety, or addiction.
Right.
That's the question we want to ask.
What do you think, Miles?
Hello.
Hello, Miles.
Hi. Welcome to the party.
What do you think about this?
No, it's intense.
It is intense.
You know, real quickly though, and I want to ask this in the next segment when we have a little bit more time, but you had kids that shared the soccer pitch together. Did you know Michael very well, or was it more or less, hi, how you doing, hi, how you doing, just because your kids shared the same field?
Well, my husband was his kid's coach.
Okay.
And I'm not a very hi, how you doing kind of girl. I'm more, tell me all about it.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so I actually happened to know that he was in recovery at that time.
That was my question.
That was when I was in the middle of my 10-year sobriety. I'd done. That's when I did the Betty Ford, and I was married, and everything. Home building was going good, and all that was the white picket fence and the dog, and the perfect wife and kids, and everything appeared to be normal.
And rigorously honest about it.
Yeah,
very,
I was.
very open about it, which was highly unusual for that time. That was before people were open and vulnerable. You know, Brene Brown has given this concept of vulnerability and made it kind of cool. Just like our media and our television has made being an addict approachable, no longer filled with as much shame and secrecy. And you were on the forefront of that. And I will distinctly remember you proudly sharing your sobriety date on a tattoo. And
I still got it, 11/28/02.
Sharing your experience back in Hope with me.
Yeah, that is neat.
That's the impression you made.
Were you in this field when we met?
No, I was not.
Okay, so you weren't doing it then. So were you in recovery then?
It was before my life had addiction impacted such that I needed to be in recovery, and thank you for asking it that way.
That's cool.
It's been a long and windy road, really culminating in the last year with losing a sister-in-law to alcoholism in her sleep.
Gotcha.
So it hits home.
Well, that's what this disease does.
You know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to go into this break basically dry, because I have lost my computer.
Where'd you put it?
Good question.
We'll be right back. Michael Moulton, Into the Rock Radio, with in-studio guest Amara Durham.
You did that so well.
Thank you.
What do you talk about with your friends?
Good stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. So when we come back, I want to walk through.
Conversation starter begins right here. This is Red Raider basketball on the Red Raiders Sports Network.
Next up for the Red Raiders.
That's kind of a word that we need to raise the bottom, especially in the upper class community. We got to raise the bottom, and that's what this intervention that I was on the phone. It was like, well, we'll go do this. No, you're gonna kill them. We got to raise the bottom.
Yeah. And I go, I get it. However, I want you to play the film out. Tell me what happens if you don't take it.
Love an addict, bury an addict. Yeah. So
you're loving her to death.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. John, you can turn back up just there.
Okay, guys, welcome to the show. What do y'all think of the show so far? It's good stuff, isn't it? A lot of stuff to take in. I need y'all to, hello, Papa P, good to see you. Let me give some shout-outs to everybody who's joined us. Let's see here. Tommy, lots of judging people, won't hire you, won't speak to you, don't understand it, it's awful. Good stuff. That's the stigma.
That is the stigma. That is something they enjoy every day.
This Christmas,
Yeah.
I'm upgrading my
I live in a small town. I'm afraid to come out as recovering. That's what this show's about. Removing the stigma. Removing the stigma. And I'm gonna start out with that. Tommy, I'm gonna address that when we come into the show. I'll address that. So hold tight, Tommy. When we come to the show, I'm gonna address your comment there. So thank you for showing, being here at the show. I mean, I gotta have some rest. Blah blah blah. They've been going hard all day. Okay, so Liz, Cindy, I think we've got everybody. Look at Papa P getting put on blast. Thank you. Hello, Don Wallace. So let's see here we got.
Get a Car Toys gift card, and they can choose their
It's
own
amazing
present.
the community that we get.
It is extraordinary. It's 23 million strong. 1 in 4 people are impacted, and I think that when we don't talk and we don't share like we're doing right now, we sit in isolation, and it's so. And I'm talking not just the addict, alcoholic. I'm talking about the family members.
That's right. That's right. This is a family disease, and so we okay. So who are we talking about? Let's see here. His name is Tommy. When we come back in, Tommy, I'm going to address what you were asking. about the, I live in a small town and I am afraid to come out as recovering. All right, lots of judging. All right. Okay, good deal. All right, Amara Durham. She's in the comments. Check her out.
Don't forget,
Check her out.
Radio fans,
She's the
Michael
real
now
deal,
has
Shaquille
new
O'Neal.
hours Monday through Friday
Such
from
a
7
freak.
p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from noon to 1 p.m. on Talk Radio 1190.
Welcome back. Michael Mulford, M2 The Rock Radio. We're coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, and our man Miles. He found the radio. We found the radio. We had to get Boss Lady in here to get that thing fixed. Anna, thank you so much for joining the show and getting him all lined out. So he's only got about 23 years under the belt. My man, the producer, Daniel Miles. In studio today, Amara Durham. She is the owner-founder of Amara Durham Consulting, where what's your pitch? I mean, what would you say you do?
I help families navigate this
like this.
overwhelming process of getting access to treatment and aftercare.
There
How do you thrive in recovery? All of you.
That is so cool. I like that. This overwhelming process to navigate going through. And Anna, while you're here, this is someone that you ought to talk to. This is a very good person that works with people that are struggling with the disease of alcoholism, drug addiction, and what's really cool about what you do, and we talk about this a lot. I'm about to get into this about so many people go to treatment, have that awakening, get a program of recovery in place, and they come back home and they walk right back into a sick house. All right? They can walk right back into a sick house, and that's why it's a family disease. We got sick as a family, and we recover together as a family. Because here's the great thing. When the whole family is in recovery, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, it's strong, and then that family can help others, and then it becomes literally the role model family on the street. I want to address something real quick that this gentleman said on Facebook Live about the stigma. You know, it's hard for me to be honest at work and what people are saying about me to this gentleman. I say this all the time, and I want to emphasize this about recovery, all right? Recovery is not about getting good. When we very first met, Michael wasn't a bad person, okay? Recovery is not about getting good. We're not good people. We're not bad people trying to get good. We're sick people trying to get well. Recovery is about getting well. Hold on to that, okay? And that helps me with the stigma. That makes sense to me. That makes me feel safe. So let's get back to what we were talking about as far as this family disease, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's talk about real quick raising the bottom, all right? So when as a parent reaching out, and what do you say to the parent that's watching right now? My son, let's just do son or daughter role play. My son and daughter is actively strung out on heroin, in denial, in a hotel room, or up in their bedroom at the house. Amara, what do I do? What the heck? This has just blindsided me. I never knew that my kid was doing this. What do I do?
So if we're going to use a child,
okay,
and I work with all ages, know this, but in this case, if we have a child who is, how old? How old are we talking about? An adult child?
Let's talk 17 years old.
17 years old. So at 17 years old, we've got a lot of options. Because at this point, we can even take this child to treatment, sign the kid in, and he has to stay. Mm-hmm. So I would say what we really, first and foremost, is there a medical emergency? Mm-hmm. Let's just be pragmatic first.
Right.
And that is someone's strung out on heroin, or they're up in their attic looking around on meth, whatever their issue is there a medical emergency? Are they a danger to themselves or others? And if so, you got to call 911.
Perfect.
Got another client, got the call from the kid, and the kid's drunk. And he is so drunk, and he originally thought he was going to drink himself to death, and at the last minute said, I'm not. Calls mom, and mom drives 4.5 hours to pick him up, to take him 4.5 hours back home to take him to the hospital, rather than calling 911, and that kid could die in the car. So the first and foremost, I cannot stress it enough, if they are a danger to themselves or others, you got to call 911. Okay. The next thing is, you can't reason or ration with someone who's high or drunk. Mm-hmm. So if you think you're going to have an intellectual conversation,
it ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen. You know it, and I know it. And all you're going to do is increase all the frustration. So safety first, right? And so making sure that individual is not overdosed or overdosing. Be around that individual if it's possible. And then really what happens after. And that's really raising the bottom. You know, you joke, when do you hit bottom? When you stop digging?
Right.
The reality is it's the same for the loved one, regardless of the age of their addict or their alcoholic, is stop digging.
Right.
And figure out, what are your boundaries and what are you what are you willing to do? I mean, are you loving this person to death? Are you giving them money so that they have no incentive to go work? Time and money are the two biggest, deadliest sins for an addict.
Right.
So how do you look at your behaviors that are enabling your loved one to continue using in a detrimental way? Whether you're providing them shelter, whether you're giving them money, whether you're lying for them, covering for them, he's sick, he didn't make it into the office, their plane was delayed, whatever excuse making you're doing, stop.
Right.
And that goes back to what we said before the break about, you know, we have the best spouses, those of us who marry alcoholic addicts, because, man, we'll cover for them.
Yes.
We will shine it up, clean it up. No one's going to know that there's a problem. And so I would say the first thing is to figure out if there's a danger, and the second thing is to say, okay, I got to have a conversation, but I got to know what my role is in this conversation before I lay it out. And then the last thing, Michael, is you got to follow through.
Right.
Man, if you're going to set limits and boundaries, you've got to follow through, because if you don't, you have no credibility, and they'll just keep rolling right on over you.
Exactly right. So we get the loved one. Okay, so I am following your lead on this. We get my loved one into treatment. Okay? Great, Amar. Thank you so much. We got them in treatment. Thank you for your help. I'm going to go back to work now because they're going to be gone for 90 days in treatment. Okay? What do I need to do now while they're in treatment as the codependent? What do you prescribe?
I prescribe you got to get to work, and I don't mean that day job. You have got to do your part, and that is understanding your role in the disease of addiction. And whether that is a lack of boundaries.
You mean I play a role in this?
I know. Isn't that unbelievable?
I
You thought we got here all alone, didn't you?
This person's sick. I sent them off 90 days. My insurance is paying for it. They're going to pay for 60 days. I got to come out of pocket to pay the other 30 days. But thank God they're gone for 90 days. And you're telling me I play a role in the deal? He's sick. I'm not sick. Are you saying I'm sick?
I'm saying the whole family system is sick. And
Wow.
the saddest part
Okay.
about this is the alcoholic addict, they've got drugs to make them feel better, but the family, we got nothing.
Ooh.
We have nothing
What do you mean
to
by
deal
that?
with our pain. We are sitting here watching someone we love, maybe someone we've actually put diapers on the bum and taught them how to pick up a Cheerio and played Legos with them, and yet we turn around and we have no way to control this behavior, this disease that's taken over their lives. And so we have no way to numb our pain. And the alcoholic addict continues to use, and they're in their own pain. But what do we have to numb our pain if you're not leaning on your faith? If you're not leaning on a recovery program like Smart Recovery or Al-Anon or Parents of Addicted Loved Ones, and there's a group, all of those. If you go online, you can find meetings for all of those. There is no way for us to numb our pain. So when we think someone is in treatment, whether that's residential or whether they're an intensive outpatient, we think, okay, we're done. And we're not. That's when our work begins.
So you're saying that I've got to go to these meetings?
You got to go to meetings.
What are these meetings about, Amara?
These meetings are actually, Michael, we're going to learn the same 12 steps that our alcoholic addict lives. And we're going to learn that our lives have become unmanageable, just like the addict's has. We're going to learn that this is about setting boundaries in a healthy way. That's not punitive. We're not punishing our loved one. We're finally saying, this is how I'm going to be treated, and this is what I'm going to allow in my life, and this is where I'm not.
Right.
And that allows the addict to know their boundaries. We're giving them a gift. You know, they're rolling around not knowing in their own lives where they're going to get their drug of choice, how they're going to pay for it, or where they stand with us. Sometimes we just say, forget about it. It's just as easy to let them do it. I'm tired. And then on the other hand, we control everything. Because the more uncontrollable the addict is, the more we try to control everything else. And that becomes so exhausting to the loved ones.
So you're saying step one is that you are admitting that you're powerless over Michael and that your life has become unmanageable? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying we're walking that exact same journey right there with you.
Wow. And then so now step two is you're saying that you're consulting that you need to come to believe there's a power greater than yourself to restore you to sanity, and that's the fellowship of support group for Al-Anon or something like that?
Al-Anon, Parents of Addicted Loved Ones, your faith, A therapist, yes, all of that holistically. Nutrition. You probably haven't been taking care of yourself.
Right.
You got to eat. You got to get sleep.
Right.
The brain can't heal, whether that's the addict or the loved one, without 8 hours of sleep. But when you've got a parent or a spouse waiting to hear, how did they sound on the phone? How hard were the steps when they walked in the door? It's very unnerving, and that takes all the chemicals in you, the cortisol levels, your adrenaline, and it throws them all out of whack.
So, are you saying I need to get a sponsor?
I'm saying you got to get a sponsor.
Whoa! So, like, if when my loved one comes back for treatment, and I start trying to control or fix him, and I see some behaviors that he is doing that is not normal, are you saying that I need to call a sponsor and look at me and not look at him or her?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying when you come home and your loved one is sleeping on the sofa, and you flip out and you call me and say, "Oh my gosh, Amara, my loved one relapsed," and I say, "Well, why don't we ask him or her?" And they say, "I was just taking a nap," because you have no idea who's coming home. All of a sudden, you have this brand new person you've never met. It's not the person pre-treatment. It's not the person you married or the person to whom, with whom you've had a relationship, or the child you gave birth, because they're different now. Their life experiences are different, and their recovery makes them more rigorously honest, more self-aware. They've done a searching and fearless inventory of themselves. And if you can't meet them in this new place with your own good work, then what do you expect to happen?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Amara Durham in studio. Michael Moulton, M2 The Rock Radio. We'll be right back. What's going on?
Wi-Fi cut out.
So we do have Wi-Fi right now or no Wi-Fi?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Will you go in the box and ask Miles why we have no Wi-Fi? Please.
Totally not on there.
Not right now.
So we're
Well, we're on the radio.
Okay.
Good stuff. God dang, this is perfect. Oh yeah, this is so freaking perfect.
She's fabulous.
Oh my God, I love you. You complete me.
Aw.
You stimulate me.
Thank you.
This is
I can
absolutely.
take that dirty away.
We're not live anymore, so you can take
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Randy, dim the lights. Well, we're not on the air.
Are we covering everything you'd like to cover?
Yes.
Is this helpful to
You're coming
your
back.
audience?
We somehow still viewers though. Like some people are still watching.
Oh, that's great news.
Like, I don't
Hang
know
in
what's
with us.
going on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, there's 13 viewers right now.
Well, this was live. We're off the air. The show was live.
It says it's live right now.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know how it can be. We're not.
You say recorded live or you say live live? Live
Back on. People are asking where it's at.
Yeah, Miles has got no computers.
They disconnected us.
Talk about a My Computer career
So,
graduate that used to
you
work
did?
somewhere like
Yeah.
Quick E-Mart, a job he couldn't get out of quick enough. He was such a great student. We hired him as a mentor.
Can
Since our
we
program is designed for
hook
people
you
with
up to my
zero
phone?
IT experience, we
Okay,
support our
you're
students
We only
with
got-
one-on-one mentoring.
All right.
You don't jump out of bed every
Okay, this
day
looks like
excited for work.
we only got one more segment left. We'll just keep doing the radio show and all this. This is great. 'Cause that means you have to come back on.
Well, I would love that.
This, oh man, this is freaking perfect.
Really?
Yeah, because we get so many people that need to hear this side, and I
And we
love.
can get granular if you want.
See, when I came back from Betty
I'm
Ford,
listening to you. I gotta get it.
Stacy wasn't working a program, and I was. So she was literally blessed her heart. She just had so much resentment and didn't know what to do with it. She was still holding on to the past and all the past behaviors, and now this new person who has worked in this like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Or who is this
Well,
person?
you could, she, I think, said it when we were all together.
Yeah.
I mean, there were just certain things where she expected you to act a certain way, so she jumped straight to that when you hadn't even gotten
Right. And so now that I look back at it, is God bless her, she didn't know what to do. You know, they didn't have the coaching, and that's the neat thing about it. And we've had this conversation, and it's really cool because when we've had this conversation, we've had the same role playing. This is huge because so many people in recovery, they put so much hard work in treatment, and when they get home, they're in me. Immediately, boom, they get into the screw up.
Yeah.
Because the codependent just drives them absolutely
Don't
crazy.
forget,
Here we go.
Into the Rock Radio fans, Michael now has new hours Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from noon to 1 p.m. on Talk Radio 1190.
Welcome back. Michael Moulton, Into the Rock Radio, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, baby. We're getting back in rhythm. We're going to let God in and win. And welcome to the show, iHeartRadio. If you haven't done so, download the iHeartRadio app. 1190 Talk Radio. We are located on the 3rd floor across the street from the Galleria, the official crack house for all women. Is that politically correct?
I don't know, but it works for me.
Okay, we'll go with that. So we have in studio this show. Real quick, this show is brought to you by DFW Coin and Jewelry. DFW Coin and Jewelry. I want to do a special shout out. Thank you, Julie, for everything producing the show, helping with the show. Cynthia and Randy Smoot in studio. Gangway Advertising. Thank you so much for the great guest we have today and reintroducing me to Mara Durham and all the things that y'all do for Into the Rock Radio and the PR work. We have such a great team. And if you were to sit back and look at all the people that are in this team, you would have said, man, Michael, you've just really strategically placed this out. I had nothing to do with it. And it's all been recovery related, everybody in place. It's just neat how it's just all just fallen together. So
Promises
the promises, yeah. And it's amazing. So here we got about 14 more minutes left to wrap up. And I always like to end the last segment in solution and what we can do for the one who is still suffering, whether it be someone who is still struggling with the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction, or the one who is struggling with the disease of codependency that is holding on to, I just don't know what to do with the addict. And we talked about this in the break. And in my personal experience, I'll never forget when I came back from Betty Ford, and I really tried hard when I went to Betty Ford. And that's when we met. I had about 10 years, and I was trying to work a program, and it eventually got so tough that I started disengaging from the program because I said, this is so hard. I felt like I was the only one. I felt like I was the only one that had to change, and it almost didn't feel fair. Why do I have to change? Why do I have to be the one that makes all the changes and everything like that? And guess what the number one offender that kills you and me? Resentments, okay? And resentment is a result of fear. Because, see, I have a hard time processing fear. Now I have tools. So this is great because I really want you to emphasize how important it is for the loved one and the codependent to seek help. So we're on the same page because it's a dance.
It is a dance, and I think what's incredibly important is two things. I think if you've got an alcoholic or an addict listening, they would or both they would say to you, hold on, I still have ownership. Mm-hmm. If I'm pulling back from my recovery program,
this is good, very good.
Rather than engaging my loved ones, saying, hey, I need more from you, and pulling back. Now we get back to, did the loved one, they can't control it, they didn't cause it, and they can't cure it. So you got to take ownership there with all due respect. So that's part of it. But the other part is that whole rigorous honesty. You got to be rigorously honest with your family member or your loved one or your employer and say, I'm doing my part and I need you to do yours. And whether that's going to meetings and asking again in I sentences, I wish, I want, I hope you would go to meetings. We could go to counseling together. You would come with me. I am inviting you to join me in an open AA meeting if they are not seeing Al-Anon on their own, or looking up parents of addicted loved ones and attending a meeting there. I think education, and this goes back to one of your viewers who said, hey, I live in this small town and there's no sympathy or empathy. Education is so important, and that includes educating your family and loved ones. Some people go to treatment, come back, and no one drinks around them, and it makes you feel more awkward than if you just had people acting normal around you. If you can't share what you're feeling and thinking, the other person can't read your mind. Mm. And so I would say it's so important in this dance that loved ones, we are stakeholders. And our loved one didn't get here on their own. And whether you do that through community, whether you do that through individual therapy, you have to understand how to reset boundaries. Because if you don't reset boundaries and get angry and resentful, shame on you. That's my fault. Or I should say, shame on me. That's my fault if I don't reset those boundaries. It is up to me. Otherwise, I'm teaching them, my addict, how to treat me.
Right.
And I'm saying, have at it. And I got to tell you that when it comes back from treatment or is working a 12-step program, if their needs aren't being met, they got to let someone know. Because they got to own, and as we say, keep our side of the street clean.
Right.
And I got to have, as the addict, keep my side of the street clean, and as a loved one, I do too. So what does that mean? I got to make sure I'm not exerting control in obvious ways or in subtle ways. Tracking on a telephone, controlling money, if I'm listening on phone calls, looking at someone's email.
Which is all a result of fear.
Bingo. You got two fundamental emotions, love and fear.
Right.
And when we come out of love, we're responding, we're engaged, we're conversing. When we come out of fear, we're reacting and controlling.
Which in your world, that's relapse behavior. That's a relapse.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And you see how we can be triggers to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole blame and shame game, well, if she had not stopped controlling me, I wouldn't have gone out and acted out. No, you got to work your program that much harder, and you got to ask to have your needs met so that that codependent can recognize that they're acting in the same ways of relapse. And that's resulting back again in that dance.
What does that look like? Is that when I feel?
Yeah, that's I feel blank when you blank. So let's talk about the before the break we talked about the addict upstairs, regardless of the age.
Right.
You know, you walk up and they're out of it. You can't really have a good conversation. But that next morning is when you say, "Hey, I feel terrified when I walk in a room and I see your eyes rolled back, or you're drooling, or an orange cap on the floor, or an empty bottle by the bed, or the red ring of a red wine glass on a side table. I'm terrified, and I wish that you would get some help and that you would choose a different way."
That is powerful. That is absolutely powerful right there. You know, I feel blank when I see you doing this action.
Or I hear you doing
I
this.
hear you doing this. I wish you would do this.
I wish, I want, I hope. And that even could be, I wish I let you do your own thing and I wasn't triggered by it. So it's I wish, and that wish can be for them or for me.
Okay, so on the codependent side, which I hate that. Terry Bentley Hill and I talk about that. We hate that label, but that is what it is. So on that side right there, when you walk in that situation and you see that, okay, then what do you do? How do you work your program? Do you go call your sponsor?
You call your sponsor. If your need is to fix or to control, you got to go call your sponsor or get an appointment with your therapist or go to a meeting that is Al-Anon or Parents of Addicted Loved Ones. Or go to church.
That sponsor calls you, Amara. What do you tell them after they see that? I just saw this. I said this to the codependent that is sitting there nodding off or waking up in the morning. I've said this, what you said. I'm calling you, and how are you coaching them through that? You're basically coaching them through their fear.
Absolutely, and this is what I do for a living, right? This is the families with whom I work or law partners with whom I work when they've got someone who's, let's call it professionally, wheels off, right? And they come and what do we do? And I say, you have to use your I sentences. You have to let them know how you feel. You have to set up a limit and boundary, and they've got to be clear and actionable, right? Does anyone want to work a job where they don't know how to make a bonus or get a promotion? So you hang something over their head forever? No, you've got to make a really clear boundary. This is what I expect within this amount of time. And so in this case, if you've got the addict there, then it's, okay, did you tell your loved one how you feel? Yeah, they know you're afraid? Great. So what did you say you hope for? Well, I hope they're going to get sober. Great, that's a great hope. Okay, then did you set a limit and boundary? Well, I don't really know. That means I feel blank when you blank. If you do it again, I'm going to consider all my options, including blank. So if it's a kid, I'm going to consider all my options. When you use, I'm going to consider all my options, including taking you to a treatment center and signing you in. If it's a loved one and it's an adult, I am going to consider all my options, including getting my own help, going to get family counseling, I'm going to get healthy and decide if this is the marriage I want to go forward. I'm going to not allow you to come to the office. I am going to, whatever that limit and boundary might be that's within reason, I'm not going to let you drive our children. I am not going to let you, I will leave if we engage in a toxic conversation face to face. I will hang up if you call me and you are slurring or you are belittling me. Those are the limits and boundaries.
How often does it come to that point?
It depends on how long you're going to let the addict spiral. And so really with the definition, the DSM-5, the medical book that determines if this is a disease, it's, is the drug of choice interfering with their life and their work? I'm going to give just a few. Are they lying about how much they're using? Are they being secretive? Are they bruised because they've been falling down or bumped? Or when you're talking to them, are their eyes red and their voices slurred? These are all indicators, when you add them all up, that this has become problematic use.
See, Michael is, you've said many times when you were at the type, you were a hell of an actor.
Oh, yeah.
You were an Oscar winner.
Yeah, we were an actor in our own movie.
Now, from what I'm gathering here, the sponsor is kind of like your phone charger, isn't it? Once your phone starts going down in, power, call your sponsor.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
It is a good analogy, and I'd say that phone charger, you got to have a splitter, man, because you got to find a higher power of your understanding, because that sponsor's not always going to be available. So if you don't look to your higher power of your understanding, now what are you left with? You got to have something, someone that is undeniably yours. And I think very often that's faith, whatever your faith may be, or whatever is your rock, your touchstone that grounds you.
There's not enough time. This is part 1. Will you please come back on?
I'd be honored.
This is incredible. This is good stuff for the codependent. Amara Durham, we're going to have all of her information on our Facebook Live feed, on the comments. We are back live on Facebook Live, and thank you for your patience. For everyone here at M2 The Rock Radio, I got 3 words. I got 8 letters. It's one meaning, and that is, I love you. Good night. Wow. Ooh, that was good. Part 2, thanks. Yeah, everybody's saying it.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, so we got back on
Seriously?
live. Yeah, so they're like, right now they're like part 2.
Oh, that's lovely.
So-
It's helpful.
But we,
And I have purpose.
so we had, how long were we off?
A few minutes.
Okay. Everyone, thank y'all very, very much for tuning in tonight. We are sorry we haven't had a glitch in a long, long time. We had a problem here at iHeart with their internet went out. Miles, the producer, his board went out, so just something happened. Acceptance.
I'm just happy that that means I get to come back.
Oh, you're coming back.
I love it.
Oh, you're coming back because that was really good.
Well, we're just going to say the
role-played.
serenity prayer.
Yeah.
God grant me the serenity, accept things I cannot change. But we rolled through it.
We did roll through it because God's in charge, not us. So thank you so much.
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
having me.
you.
What an honor.
Everyone, we'll see you tomorrow night. Terry Bentley Hill will be in studio.